Okay, so in today's video, what I want to do is discuss 4 of the most common difficult conversations that many of us as managers tend to shy away from. But I'm also going to discuss some insights with you that will help you navigate through that kind of fear that you typically have around difficult conversations. So I promise you it's going to be a juicy one. So if that sounds interesting to you, then definitely tap on that like and subscribe button and let's get started. Hey there, friend. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new around here, well, my name is Mac and I'm a leadership coach, but I actually work specifically with first-time team managers and helping them to become effective leaders. Now, before I dive into the content, I want to let you know that I'm hosting a free masterclass. And the masterclass is entitled How to Become a Confident, Competent, and Effective Manager. So if that sounds interesting to you, definitely get yourself registered using the link in the description box below because it is live and I would hate for you to miss it because we are going to be talking about a whole lot of juicy stuff. Okay, so let's get into this content by talking about the 4 kind of difficult conversations that we tend to shy away from. Number 1 is expectation setting. So by far, expectation setting is one of the conversations that I find people shy away from all the time. In fact, I feel like, so in my new manager accelerator program, which of course is a program for new managers, that seems to be the theme of all of our discussions. I'm always helping someone in the accelerator program either identify what their expectations are. Sometimes I'm helping them script out their expectations for their team member. Sometimes I'm simply just helping them get over the fear of having the conversation. But either way, almost every week, I'm talking to someone in the program about expectation setting. And I totally understand. Listen, I get it, right? It is hard, especially when your expectations are kind of intertwined with a topic where you might come off as being like insensitive. So let me give you an example of what I mean. So I actually had a team member who used to actually sleep on the job. And when I say like sleep on the job, I mean like during work hours, she would literally be falling asleep on herself. And obviously I knew this was wrong, but I did not know how to approach her on this topic without coming off as being insensitive to whatever she might have been going through. But at the same time, it was not appropriate for her to be falling asleep at work. Like, however she wanted to spend her time on her lunch or on her break is up to her. But while she is being paid to do something, my expectation was that she would be doing the work that she was getting paid for and not sleeping. And so that was like really hard for me. I'm just going to be honest. Like, I spent a lot of time thinking through how I would communicate this to her in a way that it would land, but at the same time bring in empathy and humanity to the conversation. So I totally understand why expectation setting is difficult. And you'll have to let me know in the comment section below as well if you find expectation setting to be difficult and why you find it difficult, because I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this one as well. But here's what I'll say. I want to give you a little bit of good news on this one. What I've found is that once you know how to properly communicate your expectations, all other conversations that you have with your team member becomes so much easier, because I find that expectation setting is literally the cornerstone of everything else. So it does become easier. Not easy, just easier. Now, I did do a video on expectation setting, I don't know, maybe about a year ago. And so what I will do is definitely link it up for you in the corner as well as in the description box below if you want to take a look at that, because I'll walk you through some of like the reflective questions that I like to use in order to like surface my expectations and then communicate it effectively. So like I said, I'll leave that in the description box for you below. So the second difficult conversation that a lot of managers shy away from is accountability conversations. So these are the conversations where you are holding the person accountable to the expectations that you set for them. Now, a lot of managers shy away from this because they fear the tension or the confrontation or the conflict that might exist if they engage in having this accountability conversation. For some others, it's that they fear like starting the conversation, or I shouldn't say they fear it, they're not sure how to start it or keep it on track. And then for some other people, they are just straight up afraid of like the defensiveness and the emotions that might naturally occur in this type of conversation. So for plenty of reasons, people stay away from it. I know for myself, the reason that I have been held back in these accountability conversations is because I kind of fear being like let off track, because I'm such a like I prepare everything. I'm such a preparer, and it always like throws me off when I get into these conversations and someone like totally zigs on me and I'm like, ooh, where do I go from here? But here's what I'll say. Now that I have many years of experience under my belt in this, I will say that having accountability conversations becomes a lot easier when you are working within a framework. And I did notice a switch within myself in this area once I started, like I said, working with a malleable framework, and once I became confident in what I was saying. And that's actually a huge component of the accelerator program, is actually me teaching the students my very malleable framework for having these accountability conversations, because I know it is so difficult. In fact, I just had a conversation with Melissa on the channel about exactly this, and how like when she came into the program, how she was so fearful of having to have these conversations with people. And now, even though she still feels uncomfortable having it, now how she feels so much more confident having it because of the fact that she's working within a framework that allows her to navigate whatever people throw at her. It allows her to confidently enter and exit that conversation, and it allows her to be able to like handle the emotions in a respectful and dignified way, not just for herself, but for the other person. And so if you are interested, honestly interested in really leveling up your capacity to be able to navigate these types of like accountability conversations, then I definitely recommend that you check out the New Manager Accelerator program, because honestly, hands down, I mean, I think every aspect of the program is amazing, but I will say hands down, like the two frameworks that people love and like absolutely love in this program are the setting expectations framework that I provide for them, as well as the accountability framework that I provide for them, because of the fact that it's so, like I said, malleable. And I built it in a way that like you're able to take it and adjust within like for your personality, but also with the conversation that you're navigating. And we also practice it on the consistent, because I want to make sure that y'all are communicating in a way that is clear, concise, but also dignified. And that like obviously will pull action from the other person, the action that you need. And so again, like I said, if you're interested in learning more about how to properly set expectations and then how to properly hold people accountable, definitely check out the New Manager Accelerator program. The link for that as well is in the description box below. Okay, so the third kind of difficult conversation that a lot of managers shy away from is like simply saying no to their boss. That is a huge one for sure. I know that it is not easy having to ground your boss into the reality of what is possible, right? Sometimes people that are further away from the work have no clue what it takes to actually do the work. Sometimes, I mean, and I understand why, like, when you are several layers removed, it does become harder and harder for you to really have like a true pulse on what's going on, or how long certain things take, or what is actually reasonable, unless somebody tells you. So here's what I'll say about that one. And I remind the students of this all the time too. And I think I've said this on the channel. You have to remember that at the end of the day, you were chosen for this role for a reason, right? Like whoever put you in this role as a manager did so with forethought, and they did so because they trust that you're able to navigate yourself in this role. And with that comes them trusting your voice. And so if you need to say no to your boss, or if you need to like give your boss a little bit more information so that they can make a wiser decision, trust in the fact that like they put you there because they trust you, and because they need your voice. They need you to surface these things for them. So even though it's like uncomfortable, recognize that they need it from you, because that's exactly why they put you there, because you're the one that is closest to the people doing the work, which means you're the one that has an understanding that they don't have, and they're kind of needing you to give them that information, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. Fourth difficult conversation that we tend to shy away from as managers is termination conversations, right? I mean, for obvious reasons, we don't like having to sit there and tell somebody, hey, things aren't working out. It sucks. It literally sucks. And I hate to tell you this, but it doesn't get easier. Like now with the experience I've had, I've terminated, unfortunately, a lot of people, and I can tell you it is not easy. It is one of the most difficult things ever to have to sit there with somebody. Even if you know that like you're okay with your decision and you're like grounded in your decision and you're confident that it's the right decision to make, it's still not easy having to effectively affect somebody's livelihood and sit there with them. And it's just not a good, it's just not good. But what I will say is that it does become easier to navigate. Not that it's easier to do, but it's easier to navigate once you are prepared, once you are confident in the decision that you've made and that you're sure of this decision that you made. And that's actually why a couple weeks ago, I did that video around like a checklist of things that I want you to consider or think about before you actually go into like terminating someone. I want you to go through that because then it makes you that much more confident in your decision. It's not necessarily that you feel good in your decision, but you're confident that you're making the right choice. And so then it becomes easier for you to navigate it. But I just want to clarify, it never becomes easy. Even if the person is like completely a wrong fit and is so toxic to the environment, yes, you'll walk away saying like, that was the right choice, I needed to do this, but you will never walk away feeling good. I would love to talk to somebody who's actually walked away feeling good about letting someone go. It really sucks. But it does become easier once you are prepared and also once you are confident in the fact that the choice that you're making is the right one. So just want to give you a little piece of good news on that one. So those are kind of like the 4 big kind of difficult conversations that I find that people really struggle with. I hope that the insights that I share today were helpful to you. I know I added in a couple of extra videos in here for you. I hope those videos are also helpful. But if you enjoyed today's video and you found it valuable, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe so you don't miss out on any other videos that I share on the platform every single week. So before I wrap up, I just want to remind you again that I'm hosting that free masterclass. You definitely want to get registered by using the link in the description box below because like I said, it's live and I don't want you to miss it because last year when I held it, right, a lot of people missed it and then they were like reaching out to me all year going, when are you opening up this masterclass again? So I just want to let you know, like get registered so you don't miss out because it's going to be juicy and I'm doing fresh new content that I haven't done before. So it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, my friend, thank you so much for being here with me. I so appreciate you. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next one.